But you got to understand this. We got one life. This is your life. One life. You came out into this world by yourself. You will go back into the dirt by yourself.
Get to know yourself. Don't live the life that has been given you by the people that's around you.
That's the moment you make up your mind to no longer be defined by your past.
You will get to the point in your lifetime where you have no choice but to fight. I think people give up because they don't believe what they see. It's a saying that coaches say, believe what you see. If it's there, shoot the gap. People don't believe the greatness that's in them because the world created this superstar elite group that's just human, just like us. But when we see them on television, we look at them as higher than us. We look at them in a place where we think we can never get to. And the real reason is most people never get out the stands and get in the game. They stay fans their whole life. So I tell everybody, get out the stands and get in the game. Get in the game of life and leave your mark here. The reason why people are depressed and down is because they're not doing what they love. They're not doing what they love, they're doing what they have to. That's what the workforce and work world do. It steals dreams. It steals them. And the world has become so discombobulated with finances and money that people have to compromise their dreams just to survive. People sit back and wait time and throw their dreams in the trash and go do another man's dream and expect to feel fulfilled when they come home at night. But when you wake up and you live your truth and you work for your gift, even the days you're not paid, you're not gonna feel like you wasted your time. But you gotta understand this. We got one life. This is your life. One life. You came out into this world by yourself, you will go back into the dirt by yourself. So why not work to be the greatest version of yourself for yourself?
Get to know yourself. Don't live the life that has been given you by the circumstances, by the people that's around you. Sidney Poitier wrote a book called The Measure of a Man. And he said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. He said, either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? We pick up and we think that they're our choices, the choices that we've been programmed by life to do. When we leave our homes in the morning, we're bombarded with over 6,000 advertising hits through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, through television, through our phones and through our communities, and through the computers. And so all of these things are impacting us every day. So if you don't have a program for your mind, then your mind is going to be programmed and you'll find yourself doing things that you did not know. Focus on the value of not only just changing your mind, but having a program to do maintenance work on your mind, because those negative thoughts will come back with a vengeance. Once you stop the ritual or whatever you are doing, that will hold those negative thoughts in check. Negative thoughts are like weeds. You can't kill weeds. You can hold them down for a minute. But once you stop doing the things to overpower those negative thoughts, because we've been taught to dislike ourselves.
Whether you're going to heaven or hell or nirvana or on the wheel, you're pretty much going to be around for a long time. That moment matters so much in the light of eternity, because that's the moment you make up your mind to no longer be defined by your past. Why are you being defined by your past? Because emotions are a record of the past. And so then if you're feeling that emotion, your body is believing it's back in that same experience of the past. So the more knowledge that we have and understanding that justified, valid or not, those emotions are hurting no other person but you, because the long-term effects of living by those emotional states, those survival states, are actually down-regulating genes and creating diseases. Sooner or later, you're going to have to ask yourself, is this loving to myself? And forgiveness is just when you overcome the emotion, you take your attention off that person or that problem, and you're freeing yourself and you're freeing them. So people do the best with what they think is available. That's my belief. And if you're unaware that you can control your emotional states, you'll rely on something outside of you to do that, whether it's a computer game, whether it's a Netflix show, whether it's a drug, whatever it is that you need to make that feeling go away. You're dependent on your outer world. And I think that's a hypnosis, that's a conditioning. Teach people that you can actually regulate and change your emotional states. You give them the tools to literally step into in the future. So that process, of course, is extremely uncomfortable. And the question is, how long are you going to stay in that emotional state? And 50% of the story that most people tell about that past experience isn't even the truth. Because they're making things up, and they're doing that so that they can justify why they haven't changed since some past event. Most people reach a point in their life where they reach crisis or disease or diagnosis or loss or betrayal, where they finally go, gosh, it's time to change. I think change is an ongoing process, and the more we change, the more we should see evidence in our life. That makes it exciting. Feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, and we can remember experiences better because we can remember how they feel. The stronger the emotion we have to some experience in our life, the more altered we are inside of us. The more the brain freezes a frame and takes a snapshot, and that's called a long-term memory. That image is being bossed neurologically in the brain. So then, what most people don't know is that every time they remember that event, that trauma, that betrayal, that loss, whatever it is, they're producing the same chemistry in their brain and body as if the event is occurring. So what happens over time is that conditioning process conditions the body to literally live in the past. So if a person is living by the same familiar feeling every single day, whether it's guilt or unworthiness or pain or suffering or victimization or depression or whatever it is, it's so important for them to come right up against that emotional state because they're coming up against the known. The question fundamentally becomes, for that person, is it possible then to feel a different feeling? Now, if you cannot feel a different feeling other than the feeling that you're used to feeling, it should tell you volumes about that feeling because it's going to influence your very same thoughts. Really beautiful happens if you're willing to fire the crucible and sit through that long enough. All of these emotions move, that energy moves right up into the heart, and the person starts falling in love with life.